have some great people with us, but I'm not going to introduce the great people that we have, because I'm going to let the one and only do that. But I want to say this, is that how many UFOs do we have in here? I like just saying that, because there are only UFOs. Okay, good. And if you're not a UFO, we would like to invite you to come and to really take a look, because someone invited you here, and the only reason they would invite you here because they thought a lot about you. Because we go through a process in our mind called the interview, and we only invite greatness into the space.
Yes.
This is not for everyone. But if they've invited you, they saw something in you that perhaps you didn't see in yourself. And so give yourselves a hand by having a good friend that told you about it. Now, how many know that I'm a very busy man? Yes. I'm very busy, right? Yes. I run an international ministry and travel. Yes. If you see me jump into something both feet, you know I found something. Joyce Gardner's here today. Let's give her a hand. Out of North Carolina, she says, I'm on the plane and I'm on the way. Amen. And she has several businesses. She jumped in with both feet. When she saw it, she canceled her grand opening. And she's been hitting the pavement ever since. She had a team of people coming up this week, and we'll hear more about that later, for motives, and to certify the motives. How many will we hear this week for motives? All right. Wait, we have a couple of men coming out for motives. That's good. You may find someone, Alan. It all starts with motives. So, without any further ado, I'm going to have Andrew come, and he's going to introduce. You're going to introduce Steve. I think you should. Because you know Andrew's family, right? Yeah. I'm really thinking about telling Jared to get you an apartment here.
Well, I feel like you know these guys, so
I do.
Why do you tell Jared to get an apartment?
I love that. Yeah. And a jet plane. It would be a big, we would triple the size of the business. Yes. Andrew just got back from California. Who was with Prophet Viola. And Getchet was in California this week. And they led to about 20-something people in California. And so we're going to be going back to California. Amen. How many know that Bishop George does not like people sitting on the fence? Because people that sit on the fence get shot at. So off the fence. And get you in action. Because there's no power in thinking about it. So without any further ado, Andrew has been training us, equipping us, giving us the necessary vital information. I know that when I came into business, they did not expect this to happen. This was not expected. I just came in August, and I came in here running, and next thing we know, they tell you you're in business for yourself and not by yourself. They're living proof of it. And they got on board and saw that we had a team growing. And I believe we're one of the fastest growing teams in the history of MarketAmerica. We have not got started yet.
That's good.
I haven't seen fast yet.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to have Andrew introduce these great people. They're great. I was in a seminar with them and changed my whole perspective on this business. So we're going to be honored to have them. So Andrew's going to introduce them, who they are to us, who they are in MarketAmerica, and who they are in the world.
Amen. Amen. We're all fortunate tonight to be able to learn from who I believe are the best in the business, seriously. Jim Winkler is going to be the first one to teach tonight. Jim Winkler is Vice President with our company. We're kind of partners in crime, the projects and the endeavors and the different things that we work on for the corporation worldwide. But of course, we're also on franchise owners, and Jim has a great story. And I'll tell you a little bit about it. But he's also the Executive Field Vice President, which means he's earned between $45,000 and over $60,000 in 4 weeks. So just as an unfranchised owner.
Say that again. You said 2,000. Some of us don't really believe that kind of money is being made. I want to hear. Say it again, like slowly.
So Jim has been in the business for about 15 years. Okay, and he very quickly grew his unfranchised business. He's one of those who grew it to a 6-figure annual income in about a year. Maybe a little. He's probably one of the strongest, continuously growing organizations that we have worldwide. And today, he can, of course, that income has continued to grow over that 15-year time frame. And now he doesn't really have to work if he doesn't want to. He currently is an Executive Field Vice President, which means he's earned between $45,000 and $63,000 in 4 weeks. Ultimately, because this business really can create such a stable, secure, ongoing income, that doesn't mean he's earned that in 4 weeks. That means he's earned that over and over and over again. So he's making over $500,000 a year just from his unfranchised business.
Wow.
Maybe even more importantly, he met Lisa Winkler while he was in the business.
Wait. See, out of his hope.
You introduced her afterwards. Okay, so Lisa on her own. She was previously a nurse in the health care world. Also from Wisconsin, where they both, of course, lived after married. But she also on her own rose to the director level in the business, right?
Executive supervisor coordinator, that's correct.
No, okay, fine. So, okay, instead of 18,000 in 4 weeks, it was 15,000 in 4 weeks. So,
Oh, I can do that.
on her own accord, her own effort, she developed a 6-figure ongoing income as an unfranchised owner herself, right? So she comes from the healthcare industry as a nurse, so she has a lot of knowledge and expertise in that area that one can specialize in our business. So we're very privileged and fortunate to have her here tonight to share her expertise, her knowledge, to help all of our efforts to, kind of retail and recruit really in that, specializing in that area. So thank you, Lisa, for joining Jim, and you guys coming to New York. Tonight will be a nice training. Tomorrow night's going to be another training. And then on Wednesday night, we're going to do an unfranchised business presentation. All here in this location, 7 o'clock starting tomorrow night, 7:30 start on Wednesday. So with that, let's not waste any more time. Please welcome Vice President Jim Winkler.
Couple quick things. Tomorrow night's training will be what we call a new unfranchised owner training. And I know some of you may have been through that already, and some of you haven't. Lisa's going to really lead that tomorrow, and I will say she's the best I've ever seen at training that. That's one of the most important trainings you can have to protect your business and make sure you're doing everything correctly for your new people, so that when you're moving fast, you're really getting that taken care of right away. So that'll be an important one for you as well. I'm going to dive into it because I'm going to start off, I'll train for about an hour, then we're going to bring Lisa up and she's going to train either for the remainder of the time or until she finishes what she's got ready, but she's going to cover some things on products we really want you to hear and to learn about as well. So we'll give you sort of a two-pronged approach today that we're going to go through. That's our family right there. We've got 5 children. So we're busy, like a lot of people doing a lot of things. We have one that lives here in New York, so that's why we love to come. Besides loving to see you, we love to see him when we get here, which is always nice as well. If you're on social media, these are some of the areas you can follow on social media. If you follow me on Facebook or friend request me, I don't get back. It doesn't mean I'm not trying to. I'm at that limit where it goes right to follower. Jordan and I have been trying to figure out how we can do it, and we haven't been able to do it. We follow each other is what we do to be able to do it. Those are a couple things right there. The 3 required trainings, like I said, Lisa's doing one of them tomorrow night. Then there's what's called the Basic 5 training. There's an Executive Coordinator training. I'm always recommending for people to get trained and learn as much as they can, as fast as they can in this business, because my belief is knowledge is powerful and belief is powerful, and you get the belief by attending the trainings. But part of what I'll talk about is learning and then taking action as well. It can't just be in a learning environment. We have to take action while we do it. And I'm going to focus my time period today on income producing activities, because that's what we want to do, right? Is how do we actually go out and how do we produce income with the business? And the way we do that is by using and selling the products. It's talking with prospects, it's sharing the business, and it's selling tickets, which are the events, which is education. And I'm going to spend time going through that. And then the key becomes teaching your team to do the exact same thing. Because if you don't teach your team to do it, you're the only one doing it, it gets tiresome. And if you bring people in and they don't get started right, it causes problems in the business. The best way to grow fast is to start people correctly. So I'm going to talk about that. As it says here, to move faster, focus on the things that matter. One of the things we do as a company is we have a lot of different things, don't we? We have online shopping, we have TLS, we have website development, we have all these different things, Conquer Entertainment. Sometimes that causes us to get into too many areas at one time. And I always try to bring it back and say, let's focus on income producing activity, especially early on. Because we want to be able to move products and get money back that we purchased to start with and make retail profit. And then we want to earn commissions right off the bat by focusing on what we need to focus on. Lisa always calls it bright, she says I'm a man, bright shiny objects mess me up. Like if I'm doing something, all of a sudden I can look at something else and I forget what I was doing right there. Is anybody else like that? It's like, what happened? After that, she's like, focus. So it's the same thing in business. Focus. Okay. How many of you know what this is right here?
The getting started guide.
It's a getting started guide, right? Okay. So here's my philosophy. If you are in the business and you don't know what this is, someone should have shared this with you. If they didn't, that's okay, because a lot of new people. So I'm going to share with you how to use this and how to start people with it right off the bat, because otherwise you get started, and you guys are fortunate. You with what you've got lined up here, with the trainings we have, this is going to really help you a lot. But what you have to understand is your organization is going to start to grow, and it'll grow into different areas. North Carolina and different places like that, where you don't have this every week for those people. So you better know how to train them so they know how to do it correctly in different areas as well. So to me, like we registered a new business partner yesterday. We did a home business presentation, which I'm very, very big on, getting into people's home in small groups. And we were in an apartment type room, but we sort of filled the whole apartment with people. And when we finished, and I just sat in a chair and went through the presentation like we'll do Wednesday, which will be more formal, of course, but same type thing. And when we finished, one of the people who was there, who happened to be a pharmacist, was ready to get started immediately.
Wow, nice.
So first thing we did is we pulled out, I said, you have to get started guide to the person who had invited her, and she did. And I said, well, we can't start without one. So somebody else went and got one. So we got one, and we went in. The first thing we did is I showed her, this is if you have questions where you can call, but I said, I don't want you to call there, I want you to call here first. Then we put the names and phone numbers and emails of the people that would be in her organization. So she had an idea. First thing I was showing her is what? She's not in business by herself. She knew the person who brought her. but she didn't know the other people. So now she has my phone number, her personal phone number, Lisa's personal phone number. She has people who weren't there, their personal numbers to be able to get hold. So she knows if she can't reach somebody, she's got a team to call. So we went through and did that right away and filled this in. Then we went to this page. I'm only going to talk about 2 pages on this getting started guide. I keep it really easy. There's I think 10 pages total, and they're all great. But if you do the first 2 pages, you're 99% ahead of most of the people in the business. And the first one was that easy. Just put in the names of people that they have on their team that they can call for support if they need support, or they can email if they need to connect. The second page, and this is the most important page, I gave the lady then the pen. And I said, okay, I want you to check off, I will follow this 12-month proven business plan. I had her check that. And I said to her, her nickname's Jingle. I can't remember what her regular name. I call her Jingle all day. So her nickname's Jingle, and I said, Jingle, so can you commit to me? Will you give this a year, 12 months? Because I said, you won't know if it's working or not working until you've done it for about 12 months. I said, if you give me a good 12 months, we'll have a good idea. She said, great, I will. She checked it. The next thing on there was we had commit 8 to 15 hours per week to building the business, because she had told us she needs to replace her job, just cut her pay rather significantly, and she needs to replace it. And I said, you're gonna need to work, so can you commit 8 to 15 hours per week? She said absolutely, I'll commit to that. She checked it. Can you purchase a ticket to the next scheduled meeting and training seminar system? So she's purchasing a ticket to Olivia Lee in Flushing on November 1st for $30. Her sponsor had bought extra tickets. Why was that important? Because she had them to sell to her right away and say, okay, let's go to, and then she got a ticket to the Northeast Regional right off the bat.
Yes.
So in the first month she's in the business, we have her at Olivia Lee, who's a director in the company, and I think she did it 27. She might be all 29 now. And then we have the Northeast Regional, which will have 4,000 plus people, and the other 2 vice presidents in the company, Dennis Franks and Kevin Buckman, will be there doing the training for that. So after that, I talked about her My List on the shop.com site. We went to the computer, I showed her how to get to her home advisor with that. Listen to a minimum of 2 audios. I said you're going to have an MP4 player that's going to come to you in your startup package. When you get that, I want you to start listening to two of these a day as fast as you can, because you're going to need to learn as much as you can. So that takes care of the first third of this presentation. Her and I have gone through it. She's checked each thing saying, I'll do it, okay? From there, we went into here and we started looking, okay, when are there unfranchised business presentations? When are the new distributor basic 5 ECCT trainings? So again, if you were doing this with somebody, if somebody was new, you could say tomorrow night's the first new distributor training, new unfranchised owner training. You put that date in, and they would know they were going to be here for that, okay? And we will be giving certificates out for that tomorrow, so we're going to have those made. We'll print them off and do it over at the apartment. And then we let her know the dates of the World Conference right away that's going to be in Miami, letting her know that it would be important. And the reason we're giving her these dates ahead of time is she's going to do this as a business, not as a hobby. And I've got a firm belief hobbies typically cost money, businesses make money. See the difference? Okay. So she's going to do it as a business, so because she works a full-time job, we have to let her know the dates so she can do what? She can know when she's got to take off, or she actually works night shifts and works weekends. So she's got to switch with people to get off for when she's going to do it. So we want to give her these dates ahead of time. So now we've gone through, she's got those on her getting started guide. What's happening right now to her as a new person? I'm sitting down, getting ready to register. What's going on in her mind?
She's seeing the seriousness of it, and she's preparing her mind.
Right. That's exactly what I wanted you to get. She's starting to see this isn't just a sign them up, I hope they do well. They're treating me like they're going to help me, and they're showing me this is a business. And then, now my calendar's getting started, so I know what I'm doing. That's important. So a lot of times what we do is we do that sign up as fast as we can, and we're done. And it takes 15 minutes, but they don't have any clue what to do. they get a package in, and you know what they start to get? They start to get remorse, don't they? Did anybody like sign up and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I hope I did the right thing, you know? And now that some of you are looking at me, I shouldn't say that, George here, but you know, but that's that, you know, people go through that. So I want to give them an idea of what we're going to be doing. Now, this is the most important part of this. And the most important part is, okay, when can we set up a product show? Somewhere we can get some people over to your house, even if it's 4 or 5 people, and we'll just talk a little bit about products. Could do it in a coffee shop, 4 or 5 products. Why do I want to talk about some products with her people? Customers. I mean, you know, if you don't have customers, you don't have a business.
Right.
So we need to get her some customers as soon as possible. Now, because I don't live here, I said to our sponsor, who's only been in the business 4 weeks, I said, are you comfortable doing some of this? She said, yes, I am. I said, great, then let's pick our dates and start putting it together, because I've got to move quick on this, because when people get started, if you don't start getting customers right away, and you're nervous to get customers when you're new typically, because you don't know what to say, your job is just to get people in front of us. Anything else you did was you were getting overwhelmed because you were doing too much. Get people in front of us, let us do the work, and that'll get you starting to make money. That's what we want to do, okay? Home business presentation. That's what we did yesterday, where we talked about the business in a small group setting. It's actually, Lisa will tell you, that is my favorite setting in the world. I've done business presentations in front of 5,000 people, but my favorite is 5 in the living room. Because we can interact, we can talk, and every time we do it, we end up with new business partners, we end up with people getting trained the right way, and doing so. I'm a big believer in small group settings to build this business, and you being able to do that, even if it's playing a 23-minute video and stopping it here and there and talking from your heart, you can do that, and you don't have to know everything, which is really good. Because that was one of the questions that came to us after we finished. They said, well, do we have to do it and know it as well as you? And so I've been doing it, it's actually 18 years I'm starting, Andrew, now, believe it or not, my 18th year. And I said, I've been doing it a long time. I bet you if you did it 18 years, you'd be pretty good, right? In anything. And so I said, but can you turn on go on the web and turn on a 23-minute video, stop it after a few minutes, talk a little bit about it, start it again. I said, if you can do that, you can do the business. And then you'll learn to do it better and better, and then use the people on your team. Create a possibilities list. So you know, one of the things I told her is I want you to make a list of at least 100 people you know and their phone numbers. And I said, I want you to stop doing what you're doing right now. And she goes, what's that? And I said, you're already deciding who will be good and who will be bad, right? And she goes, I am. And I said, I knew you were. I said, I don't want to know who you think will be good. I don't want to know who you think will be bad. I want to know who you know. Because what people don't understand is I may know you, and whether I think you're going to be good or not, you may know 100 people, and of those 100 people, 2 of them may be great. If 2 of them are great, do you end up being great? Yeah. So people put too much focus on the person they're talking to, and they forget the focus has to go to the people that they know. So don't judge who will be great and who won't be great. Give everybody an opportunity to see it and to learn, and then you'll learn from them what they want to do with it. So we started talking about how to do that possibilities list. And then we talked about doing a call workshop. A call workshop is nothing more than 2 of us getting together, or 3 of us getting together to call some people to get together. And the reason we do it together is then we don't feel as scared to do it because somebody's with us. And because it's scheduled, we do it. Have any of you woke up in the morning and said, you know, I'm going to call some people today? But then you didn't do it all day. Why not? Life got in the way, things happened, it got busy. This happens to all of us, doesn't it? Lisa and I were working today and we said, okay, we're going to go for a walk today, a nice walk. We got work and a friend called that I haven't seen in 10 years. He stopped over. All of a sudden it's like, boom, guess what happened? Day's gone, we didn't go and exercise. It's the same thing that happens with phone calls. So we teach you to do a call workshop right away. And I have to do it with my new person. What's your name?
Tanya.
If Tanya's my new person, I have to do this call workshop with Tanya right away. Why? Because if we're booking a couple things right here, if I do it with her, do you think she's gonna have a chance of getting more people there?
Yes.
Because she'll make calls. Also, will I be able to coach her a little bit?
Yes.
Because sometimes when we're new, we make calls and we say the darn, it's like they used to kids say the darndest things. So do adults, you know? And we don't really book the appointment, we think we do. In this business, by the way, if someone says, I'll try to be there, that's no. I'll try is an absolute no, okay? So that you're aware of that, so we can coach a little bit and go through it. So if I do these 3 things right here, and the other thing that Andrew and I are gonna put on this getting started guide is book 10 one-on-one appointments. Because I know when Tanya calls for the product presentation or the home presentation, a lot of people are gonna say, I can't make that night, or I'm busy, or I can't make Wednesday night. And when they say to me, I can't make that night, you know what I'm gonna tell Tanya to say? That is great. In fact, I was hoping I could meet with just you and I, or you, I, and my business partner, and we can go through this more personal, and then book an appointment. Because sometimes you need to meet with people one-on-one, or on a 2-on-1 like that, and talk to them that way. So what I want to be able to do is teach her not to be disappointed they can't make it, but teach her how to book that appointment. So if I went through this page with each one of you in this room, and then if I made calls with you, how many of you think you'd be moving your business along pretty good right off the bat?
Yes.
Okay. Now when you bring new people in, guess what they're looking for? Same thing. And you say, well, I'm brand new, Jim, I can't do it. You can, I just told you how. Okay? And what if my sponsor's not there? What if my sponsor's not doing anything? It doesn't matter. When I started, my sponsor lived 2 hours away. First thing I learned was I better take care of my people. Because he wasn't going to be able to do it all. So I had to take care of it, because I wanted my people to be successful. And so that's what I'm saying. This is where this came from. You have something that's put together. You don't have to make it up and try to learn it. You just go through it, set it up, and do it, okay? Dreams free, the hustle sold separately. Right? So we're all sitting there thinking, okay, I want to do this. I want to be successful. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take some work. There's going to be ups and downs. One of my favorite sayings in the business is, if you've never cried doing this business, you just haven't tried hard enough yet. Okay? Because you will have ups and downs. You'll have people who say they're going to get started who don't. You'll have people say they come into a meeting who don't show.
Yep.
You'll have people you go to pick up, the lights on in the apartment, and they don't answer. So there's stuff that goes on, okay? You have to have belief in the system of what we do. Let me give you an idea of how this system, people say, okay, I got there, what is the system? Well, let's talk about it. One of the things I want you to remember, we're here tonight learning, right? And this is great. But 1 hour of doing is worth 20 hours of sitting.
That's good.
Okay?
That's good.
Because you learn better when you show the business plan. You learn better when you talk about products. You learn better when you're on the phone with people than you do just sitting. So the sitting's important, but if all you do is just sit and learn, you'll never get ahead. You have to start doing the actual work. Okay, 1 hour of doing is worth 20 hours of sitting. System works if you do. So it's proven. We have almost 400 people now who've hit our $1 million club. That's an amazing statistic, isn't it? 400 people have earned $1 million in commissions with your company. People making business a career, even part-time. Making this a career is something. You know, even earning extra money is great, but people being able to do that, and then merging old technology with new ways of doing things, talking to people personally, but using the technology to make it simpler. So what's the system though, Jim? You know, you said the system works. What is the system? Well, to me it's pretty simple. It goes really right off of what we just talked about, develop a names list. And I would assume most people here have done that, am I right?
Yes.
Most people have done that if you're part of the business already. You've developed a names list. And why do you have to have a names list? Does anyone know that? Why it's so important?
Having a names list is like having a plan of action. You know who you're going to talk to and plan out when you're going to meet with them and talk to.
That's a very big part. It's just like having inventory almost. You know, in a store you have inventory. If you run out of inventory, you can't make any more money.
Right.
Your names list is an inventory of people who may have an interest in the business. But here's the even bigger reason I'll give you. A lot of people start this business and here's what we think. Well, I know someone who wants to do it really bad, and now I'm going to talk to them. And they're gonna tear this up, that's gonna build half my business. And then we go and we talk to them, and they say, you are crazy. What are you thinking about? Why are you looking at something like this? Now, we don't have anybody, we don't have a names list, we have 3 people we've listed, or 5 people we've listed, so now we're almost out of inventory. We start to get worried whether we can make this work or not. I was lucky when I started, a lady who helped train me, Myra Arkebauer, asked me to write down 300 names and numbers. And this was before you had numbers in your phone. This is 1997. There's no Facebook. There's, you know, now you can go to your phone or Facebook and pull up 500 people you know very quickly. So I went home, put the kids to bed. My kids were young at that time. Put them to bed at 9 o'clock, stayed up till 2 in the morning putting 300 names and phone numbers together. Wedding lists, high school lists, kids' parents lists, everything I could think of. And I came in the next day, I took that names list, I handed it to her at her house, and she looked at me, she didn't even grab it, she looked at me, she goes, what are you doing? She goes, I don't want it. And I said, you told me I had to do 300 names and phone numbers. And she said, I did, but not for me, for you. And she goes, I didn't want you to be like everybody else. I said, what's everybody else? She goes, all these people get all excited, they start the business, and then they call 3 people who say no, and they're ready to quit. She goes, you said you want to make 6 figures. I said, I don't want to, I need to. Okay? And she said, well then your job over the next year is to get all 300 names and phone numbers off this list. How do you get them off the list? Call them. And when you call them, you ask them to take a look at it. If they say yes or they say no, I can eventually get them off the list. I never got through 300 names and phone numbers, but at the end of the year, I was earning over $2,000 a week. Because I did try. So she set me up very quickly, correctly with that. Then from there, system, book a product presentation. This happens to be right in the getting started guide, doesn't it? Get some people to look at products. What if it's only 2 people? Is that okay? Great. Book a home presentation. What if it's 2 or 3 people? Is that okay? It's great. It's more than 1. So we're doing some things like that. I want to move quick, and the reason I want to move quick is it seems like that when you start, the longer you go before you sell a product or you get someone else started in the business, the more the belief starts to wane on whether you can do it. Even if you haven't done anything, you start to question it. So I want to get you doing things as fast as possible, because the faster you start doing things, it's almost like when I show the plan, I always tell people, when I show the plan, the person who gets the most into the plan is me. Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is so great, how do people not get it? And I'm thinking that while I'm showing it, I'm thinking, I just sponsored myself again. So then we do a call workshop right away to book in. Is this right out of the Getting Started guide?
Yes.
Yeah? 10 appointments. We want to get 10 one-on-ones or 2-on-ones, just like I talked about. Andrew and I are going to put that in there. And then I attend everything. I tell people attend everything you can and learn. The learning curve is going to be so much faster because you're going to so many things. I'm going to tell you that. It just accelerates everything. But attend the unfranchised business presentations. Find out where the local seminars are. Get trained through those trainings as quick as you can. And then to the corporate events. That's the system. Take action and get trained while you're doing it. What did it not say? Get trained and know everything, then take action. I want to make sure you understand the sequence. The sequence is start doing it and get trained while you're doing it. Because if you just wait to get trained, I know people, so I can't talk to anyone until I know everything. I hope no one in here is like that. Because I got to tell you, those people struggle. And I know people who they don't know anything. Except that they're really coachable, and you say, get people in front of me. And you know what they do? They get people in front of you, and the business starts off great, while the other people are still trying to read everything they have. Yeah. Some people have 6 people in the business already. Okay? So let's talk about those income-producing activities. Use and sell the products. First thing is, how do we sell products, or how do we generate this? And do we have to sell products?
Yes.
Yes. We're business. We move products to an end consumer. Well, the first thing is our shopping annuity. You need to start trying different products on here. You guys are going to love when Lisa goes through products today. I mean, she does a great job. You're going to learn about some of the different products. You're going to pick up some great things. But, you know, when I started the business, I was a customer. I took 3 products. So I kept buying my 3 products now as a business owner. But then I started trying everything else I could in the company, because I thought, well, if I'm already buying it at a store, why wouldn't I buy it from my own business? That just makes sense, I'll try it. Now, if I like it, I keep buying it. Nice thing about being a brokerage company is we have great products. You don't have to worry about whether they'll be good or not, but so I just kept expanding what I was using on a regular basis. People say, is that a big deal, Jim? You know, you use Royal Spa hair conditioner, you use Snap laundry, who really cares? It's like 2 BV. Okay, now, fast forward 18 years, you got an organization of 3, 4, 5,000 people who use 1 or 2 laundry detergents a month at 2.5 BV. That's 10,000 BV coming up on each side of your business because you learned how to use a laundry detergent and told people about it. And if they got crazy and used hair care, you've doubled it or tripled it. Okay? So again, what I'm saying is you become your own customer, you learn the products, and you can talk about them a little bit better. And you teach people, even if you don't talk about them a lot, you teach people how to use their own products. Shopping online, I'll tell you what, we try to buy nothing that we can't get from our own business online. Everything we try to do, we try to get from our own business. Last week alone, pet food, for our, Petco's a partner store, so it delivers right to your door, free shipping at over $49. Shoes that you bought, where'd you buy those from? Yeah, hard to believe. Shoes.com, which is a partner store. The week before, Sports Authority, I bought a pair of shoes, which is a partner store. Contacts, AC Lens. Groupon, anybody ever use Groupons? What'd you say? Pool chemicals. Whatever you look for, if you look on their site, you're going to find it probably. And that's all I'm saying is you're going to go out, a lot of us, we run to the store, we just buy it. I want that to hurt when you do it. I want you to be like, oh, Jim, there's a camera and Jim is watching. And he's probably dialing a JR. And all of a sudden it's like, you know, like that. Use the home shopping list. Is that a great thing to use?
Yes.
Home shopping list. Online shopping, as we talk about product webinars, product trainings like you're going to learn tonight. Lisa Koska, you said coming in on Saturday, Sunday. The best, in my opinion, the best motives trainer we have, or one of the top ones in the whole company, who's going to be coming in and training on our cosmetic line right here for you. Samples. I love these. I mean, Andrew and I, we want to get these into our, even into the Fast Start package, because I think these are the greatest things in the world, the Daily Essentials kits. How many of you have bought these or know what I'm holding? Anybody? Oh my gosh, only a couple. This is OPC, multivitamin, B complex, and calcium together in one little package. I'm not going to go into detail because Lisa's going to talk about it. But how many of you think this would be a great thing for someone to try and be able to have right away? And that's what we want to be able to do. So this might be a product that after Lisa talks about it, you may have an interest in picking up and ordering, so you have some samples to have for people who can try them right away. It's also great if you're not going to be home at night or in the morning, excuse me, because then you have the ability to have this with you. Just take it wherever you're at. You can email from the product page, third-party testimonials. This is a friend of ours, Joan Herrera. She put this together and said, these are the products I use almost every day in my house. How many of you would like to have somebody who does a product sampling like this? Yes. I told her, don't use NutriClean every day, though. That's a cleanse. He lost like 80 pounds, he still shouldn't use it every day. Stores, I mean, I mentioned a lot of these, but Paul Fredericks for stores, ink stores, Cowboom is refurbished computers, it's great. Cellphoneshop.net, you knew it was coming.
I said, I'm surprised you hadn't said it yet.
Yeah, I was waiting, I was making a big entrance. How many of you have ever been to cellphoneshop.net? Anybody? Okay, great prices on chargers for your phones. Whatever kind of phone you have, you can get chargers from $5 to $10 typically for a charger on there. You can pick up all sorts of things. Home product presentations I talked about was a way to move products, showing the plan. One of the things a lot of people miss in our business is if I show the business plan to somebody and they want to evaluate it. Does that ever happen to anybody? Yeah. Okay, we make a mistake a lot of times. I'm going to tell you what the mistake is. The mistake is we say, well, I'd like to register you as a shop.com customer. How many people have done that? Okay, why can that be a mistake sometimes? Because if you register, as they become a customer of shop.com, do they buy anything initially, typically? They just register for it. I've had people say, I registered 20 people, but no one purchased. I'd rather sell them one product. Why don't you try to have 30-day supply? I'll even give you a discount on it, because you took the time to meet with me. So I give them a discount on it. But if I get them to try this for 30 days, or what, maybe 5 days of samples, whatever I sell them, do you think there's a better chance if they like the products while they're evaluating it, I can come back and we can talk about the business better? I mean, I'll tell you what, having something like this would be tremendous for everyone who says they want to think about it. Great, when do you want to get together? I want to get together in 6 days. Great, let me get out 6 of these. They cost about $2 each. You owe me $12. And when we get together, then you'll have tried it for 6 days. You'll know if one of our best products is good for you or not. And we can talk about it so that they're trying some products while they're evaluating. Because if they hate the products, it's not going to be a good business for them.
That's right.
So I'd rather have them trying some things off the bat. You can sit down with people just to talk products. You can figure a special of the month. Lisa and I were talking about it's breast cancer month right now, right? It's October is breast cancer month. Lisa's a breast cancer survivor. So we're gonna, yeah, you can clap for that. We are going to do an online modus party. And on our online modus party, we're going to donate all the proceeds to breast cancer organization.
Wow.
So that'll be for October. So you can pick and choose things that matter to you, or make a special. Maybe in December, you should do Bliss, which Lisa will talk about, which is a product that helps with stress. Because can December ever get stressful for people? It can get a little stressful at times, so Bliss is a good product. We'll talk about that. But you know, you can pick different things at different times. Referrals, samples like we've been talking about. I like the home health presentations because I want a customer base, which I mentioned before. I want to get people to have a couple customers because they're operating then on a profit. That if people have customers and they like our products, you realize they will stay in the business. If they stay in the business, they'll learn enough about how to make money with the business. If someone comes in the business, never uses any products, and has no customers, you have a very limited window. Because if they don't make money quick, first transfer buying order, our unfranchised auto ship comes on the 3rd month, and they say, what am I going to do with this stuff? I don't use it, and I have no customers. I'm losing money. When the truth of it is, if they were using products or retailing, they wouldn't be losing, they'd be saving money. See, I was a customer, so I got my first order. Guess what I said? I'm saving a bunch of money. I was paying retail, now I'm paying on franchise owner cost.
Right.
Okay. If I had somebody purchasing it from me, I'd say, I got it on franchise owner cost, I sold it at retail, I just made 15 to 20 bucks doing this. So there's your differences. So that's why we want to be able to do it. If you don't have people moving and using products, you do not have a stable organization as you grow. And I always want you to remember that and think about that. How can you invite people? You can say, hey, Sue, you know, I only have a few seconds. I started a business recently, which most of you did. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. I've been taking some great nutritional products. If that's your area, you talk about that. What if you love Modus Cosmetics? Could you just change this?
Yeah.
And where it's at, I'm using some products, some cosmetic products I've fallen in love with. I would love to sit down with you and share them with you. I'm going to have some people over, do a little get-together, some great information. We're going to have a lot of fun. Do you think you can make it? And give them the time and the date. Now, a lot of people say, well, what I want to do is I want to find out when my friends can come and then I'll pick the date. That's backwards. You pick the date and then you invite the friends. Because if you try to find out when they're going to come, you like that. You've been dealing with this. It doesn't work. You got to pick the date. Some people can make it. Some people won't make it. It's the way it is. The ones who don't make it, what do we say to them? Great. Actually, I'm happy you could make it. I was hoping we could get together one-on-one and talk about the products anyway. Okay? You don't have to make it real difficult. But here's one thing I'm gonna recommend, whatever you do, always have some products for people to try. What's the number one reason people don't wanna buy any liquid vitamins? They think it's gonna taste nasty. And if you tasted ours, if you tried them, they actually are really refreshing, aren't they?
Yes.
I mean, great to start the morning with. But people, I remember the first time someone said to me, I thought it was gonna be green and floaty stuff. I don't care how good it is for me, if it's gonna stick to my teeth and look all bad, I don't want it. All right, and then I tried it, and I'm like, oh, this is actually a lot better than I thought it would be. And so then I was great, I'll try some products, I'll buy some. So we want to have some things to sample. And again, you can take a couple of these, pour them into a jug. You don't have to give somebody a full one of these to sample when you have them tested. You can just give them a part of it, like a little Dixie cup thing, full, so they just get the taste of it, okay? At the end of it is the most important time. And at the end of it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to thank people for coming. If I got 3, 4 people, thanks for coming. Appreciate you supporting me tonight and coming out here. If you saw a product, you have to ask them. If you saw a product you liked and you want to order it, I'll give you a discount. Or sometimes you can work out like a sample. Maybe you've got some, for everybody who orders tonight, I'm going to give 2 awakes to them as a prize for doing it. But I'm trying to do something to encourage them to what? To buy tonight. I've seen some people who they are the best product people in the world on information. And they can tell you everything and they get done and say, wow, that was amazing. And everyone leaves. And nobody buys anything.
Right.
And they say, well, I'll do it when I get home. And then they get home and what do? They get busy, job gets busy, husband and wife get busy, kids get busy, and then a week later, 2 weeks later, they've forgotten about it. I'm not very good, I'm not great at explaining our products. I'm pretty decent after 18 years I can talk about it. However, what I am good at is at the end of the meeting, I have no problems letting people know that tonight I would love them to purchase something. And when I do it, I move products. Because I'm asking them directly, I'm letting them know we'll do a discount or we'll give them something. And the key is if they walk out, if they buy it, they're going to try it. That's what I want. I want me to use it because if they like it, it's not about that night them buying these products. It's about them buying it that night and then reordering 30 days later. And then reordering again 30 days later. Our best customer for Lisa and I was my first customer in October of 1997. So it is now 17 years plus later, and he is our best customer we have. He was my first customer I ever played on a rec basketball league I played in together, and he bought a product from me called Thermochrome to help with weight management, which led to OPC3. He had gout, and the OPC3 helped him with his gout, which led to aloe, because he has a lot of gas, and aloe can help with gas. Okay, so if anyone here's gas, drink aloe. They can help with that. He orders 4 bottles of aloe every 40 days from us, yes?
So what about also?
I'm not going to go, Lisa's going to touch on that stuff. I'm just giving you a couple things. She'll touch on it and give you some questions and
I'm not
answers.
touching aloe, but I already told her aloe would be the best.
Aloe would be the best. Okay, you already said that. Okay, all right, good. All right, and then the other thing I'll do is I'll say, you know, if anyone who's here would like to host something like this, invite some people over, I'll do the same thing for you. I'll talk about a couple of these products. We'll move them to the people you have there, and I'll give you 100% of the retail profits. Why would I do that for somebody? Because I get the customers, I get the BV. If 5 people come and 5 people buy, I also look at the person and say, these could be your customers. And this could be your retail profit. So, how easy would it be to start a business if you had 5 customers already done? That makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? So I'm trying to get her to get somebody to lead me to more people, and lastly, I let them know there's a business. But I said, tonight's not the night to talk about that, but if you have an interest in making money, let me know, come up to me, we'll schedule something. So I just talk about products, boom, now I can talk about business with them and schedule something. So really, moving products helps recruit as well. It's sort of a combination of the two. So that was the first thing, use and sell the products. Now sharing the business. How many people are comfortable sharing our business? Oh, good, you guys are doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good. But how many people aren't? Let's ask that. Like, you're like, whoa, I don't even know what to say. I don't know how to talk to people. Okay? So how do we do that? One, what if you set a realistic goal? What if you could call 4 people a week? How many people can call one person a day? One person, just call, even if they say no. What if I said, I'll pay you $2,000 a week the rest of your life? If for the next 365 days, you call one person a day. How many, and you talk to them? How many people would call somebody? How many of you would wake up in the morning and make sure you call, like before you're out of bed? You got the phone in your hand, and you're like, oh, you said no? Perfect. I got my one call done, I'm great. But the problem is we don't make the call, and if we don't make the calls, we don't have any shot at having the ongoing money coming. So we have set a goal, 4 people a week, show the plan to one person a week. Do you realize if you showed the plan to one person a week, you'd probably move into the top 3% of the companies, showing 50 plans a year, 52 plans a year. To me, that was crazy first time I heard it. But I train all across the world, and I'll ask people to stand up. When I get to 50 people, if you showed the plan 50 times in the last year, the only people showing up are the people making big money. So I said, right, the first time I ever saw somebody do that, I said, guess who I'm going to be? I'm going to get to 50 plans in a year showing it for sure. That's only 1 a week. By the way, if we talk realistic, how long does it take to call one person a day? 5 minutes maybe? 3 minutes? How long would it take to show the plan to one person? I would say about an hour. An hour. You can do it quicker, but if they ask questions, you can also go longer, so say an hour. So you got 1 hour in your business doing income producing activities. Okay? Add some possibilities. You know, on your phone, you should be, every time you meet somebody you haven't thought of it about this business, you should be adding their name on your notes on your phone and then transferring that onto your list. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be out doing life and you're going to be meeting people, and if you don't put that into somewhere and put it on your possibilities list, you're going to see them again 3 months later. Or at work, so I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You are going to come Wednesday night, and you're going to be here for the business presentation, and so are they. With somebody else, because you never called them. Okay, and that happens, by the way.
Since phone calls are so important, I mean, they're key, right? Is there any time when you shouldn't be calling, or time when you should be calling?
You shouldn't probably call at midnight. It's not a good time. But, you know, it's a good question, because we do these moving up seminars where we train people on calls, right?
Right.
So guess what everybody thinks, well, we do them Friday and Saturday, that's one session, and we do Sunday and Monday, that's the second session. Everybody thinks worst time to get a hold of people is going to be Friday and Monday because they're at work, right? Guess when the best time to get a hold of people is? Friday and Monday. During the day, well, Jules, am I right on this? While they're at work, she's been to one of the classes. We record it and we check it. You can get a hold of people more at work than you can when they're not at work. Isn't that crazy? You get more voicemails on the weekends, and they'll call you back, but you get more voicemails. So sometimes in our mind, we start to decide when will be a good time, when won't be a good time, and the answer is you just have to call.
One more question. Again, because calls are so important. Does MarketAmerica have a software that's like Salesforce or something where you know, here's the list, here's the first call, here's what I said last?
We did for a period of time, we had something called a PRM, which I think we still have available, but it's just, it didn't, you'd be better off getting Salesforce, to be honest with you. We had something we tried to incorporate into the company and use some of the company functions in it. But there were better softwares out there already, and it became too much maintenance to try to keep maintaining it, so we could just buy and use something else.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you aware of any techniques used for one-on-one dates that you do of windows or other mechanisms out of phone calls, stuff that wouldn't want to interact?
Well, I mean, you can do, there's a lot of things you can do with social media, with emails. I can't coach on it because I haven't done a lot.
I just wondering if you're aware of any.
Yeah, no, personally, I'm not. Not that there's not things people can do, I just haven't done it personally, yeah. Social media, there's a lot of techniques you can use and different things. I'm going to focus more on some of the base stuff right off the beginning today. Because for most of us, I gotta be really honest, and I just gotta have to tell you how I built. I built by knowing people, which led to other people, which led to other people. You say, well, how'd you do in your cold market? I said, my cold market, I never had to do a lot with because my warm market led to another market. So I always had a semi-warm market I worked off of, if that makes sense. And I think that's because I built a big names list, and I had a lot of people to start working off of in the beginning. Through social media, like the person we sponsored that I was doing a whole presentation on Sunday, that person contacted me through social media. I've got a distinct strategy to try to get people to contact, to look at what I'm doing and say, hey, what is he doing? And get a hold of me rather than me having to reach out for them. And we probably sponsored 5 people this year off of social media. People who came to us and said, hey, what are you doing? So that we can talk to them about the business. But this takes work. This is where the work comes in. Making phone calls, talking to people, having a strategy, doing things. You know, we got these $1 million dreams. You can't have a minimum wage work ethic. You can't say, I hope I find the right 2 people. And they're going to be the first 2. Because a lot of times it's not the first 2. It might not be the first 4. Not that some people won't build, but they may not be big builders. And if you want to build a big business, you have to have either a lot of people doing a little bit, or you have to have somebody who says, I'm going to do a whole lot. Okay? So why do we need to recruit? People say, well, Jim, you're talking about recruiting. You were first talking about selling products, now you're talking about recruiting. Let me ask you a question. Any traditional business owners in the room? Okay, traditional business owners. You got employees, right? If you have employees, if 5 of them quit, and you want to keep your business the same size, would you need to replace them?
Yes.
Okay, what if you don't? Business will shrink, right? People do quit. Okay, so if someone quits and I don't replace them and keep growing, what will happen to my business?
Shrink.
It'll shrink. I always compare us to traditional business because that's the model. We're like a franchise, the unfranchised. You need to be expanding distribution and having more points of distribution if you want to expand your business. You can either have 100 customers yourself, or I'll tell you what I always wanted. I wanted 10 people who had 10 customers. Much easier to deal with 10 people with 10 customers than me trying to have 100 all on my own. So when I'm new, I want to activate, I want to earn commissions, and I want to prove that the business works. Because when you're new, sometimes people are like, well, why don't you call me when you're making money? Has anyone ever heard anything like that? Okay. So I wasn't the only one. Good. I called some of those people, and it was funny, a friend of mine who came over today, he came over while we were on Utopia 3 on the company, and he was in the business 10 years ago. And he quit. And he walked on the boat and he goes, holy cow. He goes, you were right. This thing really did work. And I said, I told you it was going to. I said, you just didn't believe me long enough. So you got to prove the business works by doing it. For people who've been in a little while, you got to continue momentum. What you do not want to do is register 2 people and then try to manage them. Okay, this is what some of us do. We're bringing 2 people and we're like, okay, I need you to go find some people for me, okay? Because I brought you in. Go get you. Need to get people. And then they call you the next day. Did you get any people yet? What are you doing? This is what we do to people. But that's horrible. Because then people don't want to even answer your call. So here's what I do. Instead of calling you 2, I sponsor you. And I place you down below one of you 2. I sponsor him, but he goes down below you. If he goes down below you, you get credit on his BV. Yeah. And when I do it, I let you know I sponsored him because it shows that I'm doing what? I'm working and building the business. I'm leading, not managing. So you need to lead, and that's what we do in the business. We lead, we don't manage, okay? Plus I can place BV to the lowest spot. It's security, and I can prove that we are not dependent distributors, okay? Because some people get dependent. They're like, well, when are you going to sponsor someone below me? Well, the truth of the matter is, if people are sponsoring people below you after, say, you've been in the business a year, and a lot of you are new, so that's okay, that's natural, it happens. But if they're doing it after a year, that means that you're their weak side, you do understand that. Because if you're in a year, where are you gonna sponsor people? Only probably on your weak side. So if you wanna make a lot of money, you don't wanna be the weakest link. Make sense? Okay, that's the way I want you to think. You want to become the strongest person, not the weakest person. If you're a veteran, it means you want to prove you're a leader, not a manager. You want to lead from the front, and you're going to teach your team to do what you do, not what you tell them. Anyone ever have kids in this room? Any children? You can tell your kids what to do. You have a lot of kids with those daycares. But kids will do what you do more than they'll do what you say. Is that true? Okay? So we have to teach them by showing them the proper way. You got to retail, you need to sponsor, and you need to post. How many people have ever felt your phone was like this? Maybe I need a cell phone wrapped up because nobody has a phone like that. But that's where I go back to the call workshops. And people say, well, is it effective? We track our numbers at every Moving Up seminar, and our numbers have proven that when we do it, Bishop Jordan was at one of these and saw what happened.
Yes.
It's typically, you're going to book, out of every 10 calls, one person is going to say no only, or less. And only one person is even going to ask you, what is it that you're calling to book an appointment for? So we all get scared because we're like, we won't know what to say. But if they don't even ask you, would you be okay? And if only 1 out of 10 says no, if we're not sponsoring more, what's the reason we're not sponsoring more? We're not calling. And I'm talking about, they say no to booking an appointment. Then you have to do the work of showing them the business, but the fact is we know how to book the appointments. This is an example. 646 appointments booked. 77 people asked, what is it? And 56 said no. So out of 700 appointments, only 56, 700 calls, only 56 said no. Only 77 said, what is it? So it's a workshop. Why does it work? Because if Andrew and I have one of these scheduled tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and he suddenly doesn't want to make calls during the day, but I'm saying, Andrew, I'm counting on you to be there with me, he's going to show up to make calls. When he shows up to make calls, I'll make calls, he'll make calls, we'll book appointments. Once you book the first appointment, guess what happens? It comes easy. Once you make the first phone call, it becomes easier. Okay? It's accountability, it's excitement. So you can do it on a night. We have a person in our group, Shelley Bowe, she does every Monday night at 7 o'clock, she does a call workshop. Whoever on her team wants to come over, they book appointments and they book in to the things they have going on the rest of the week. Would a call workshop be a good thing for you guys to do to get ready for Wednesday night?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And it could be just 2 of you making phone calls. You can do an anytime one, which means you could do one tomorrow. You could call somebody and say, hey, let's get together at noon and do it. A break at work. You could do one tonight where you had everybody make, we said all of a sudden I say, okay, everybody's got to make 2 phone calls. I'm not going to do that to you, but we could do that tonight. I may do that next time I'm here. So just be
Wednesday night. Yeah, they gotta have Wednesday night.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it would be great.
Who wants to make 2 phone calls right now? All right, let me go through a little bit, then we're going to make 2 quick calls, okay?
Y'all gonna give them a hand for this one. This one. $1,000 for this.
So you can do it anywhere, but you have to have options of what you're going to book into and where they're going to come. Each team member makes calls. It's not about one person telling you to make calls, it's people showing you while they do it as well. And we use a really simple system. Well, I pick up the phone, I call someone, say, hey Lisa, it's Jim, I only have a couple seconds. Why don't I say to Lisa, hey Lisa, do you have a minute? What happens when someone calls you and says, do you have a minute?
Because the answer is no.
You're always like, oh, it's going to take 10 minutes. It's like when someone calls Jim, I just need 5 minutes, that's a half hour of my time that's gone. And you know it. But if I'm in a hurry and I say I only have a couple seconds, they know that it's going to be quick. So again, boom, we're able to move a little bit faster. I edify them. And what do I mean by edify? Whoever I call, I'm only calling because I like them. Hey Lisa, the reason I'm giving you a call, one, you've been a great customer for a long time. You've referred so many people to me. With your personality, I think this business would be a natural for you. I didn't even mention it. The reason I'm calling, I started a business recently, and I thought of you right away. So boom, I only have a second. Then you can say the reason I'm calling is. Okay, I only have a second. The reason I'm calling is. I edify. Then what happens to people when you start to say it might be something that they'd be interested in? They start to get a little scared, right? The defenses start going up a little bit. Lisa, I know it, you know what? You may or may not be interested. Either way is great with me. So what did I do by saying that? I took the defenses back down and let her know. Because the number one thing they're thinking is, how do I tell them no? Or what if I hurt their feelings? So I take the defenses right back down and say, look, what I'd really like to do, get together. It's going to take about an hour. Do you have any time in the next couple of days? And if she says yes, I say, great. Are you available Wednesday night at 7:30? Great. Where do you want to get together? And I'm going to close down where we're going to get together. Maybe it's a Starbucks. But here's what a lot of us do. The minute someone says yes, we get a place, we hang up the phone. Don't we? As fast as we can. Why? Because we're like, we got the appointment, I'm done. But then we go there, we're at Starbucks, 7:30, say Wednesday night, and what happens? Nobody shows up. So what we have to do, when Lisa says to me, she says, you know what, 7:30 will work for me. I might say to Lisa, Lisa, you know what, I'm really super busy. I'm working a full-time job, starting this business. Is there any reason you won't make it on Wednesday night? And if she says, no, I'll be there, I said, great, because it's going to mean a lot to me that you're there. Whether you're interested or not, this would really help me if you could look at the business. If I say that to her, my chances of her showing up just went from 50 to 95. The only way she's not going to show up now after I say that, she'll call me and let me know there's a problem. Okay? But a lot of us jump off the phone so fast that people don't show up. We only spend about half an hour to 45 minutes doing it. Not much longer than I just did. And then we say pick up the phones.
That's right.
And they pick up the phones, they make their calls, and 9 out of 10 say yes. Now again, if I call somebody and they say, well, I can't make Wednesday night at 7:30, can't make it, over here, what do we say?
Great.
I was actually hoping to get together with you personally. What's the soonest? When is the soonest we could get together? You guys are getting it, so you're not disappointed. What if I get a voicemail? Do you ever get a voicemail?
Yes.
You get a voicemail, what kind of message do you leave?
Short.
Short.
Call me back.
So let's say I'm calling one of my best friends. One is he already knows my number, right? It should show up on his phone if I'm one of my best friends. I don't say, hello, this is Jim, call me back, because then he's going to think I'm weird, and I've joined a cult, or somebody's invading my body, or somebody say, hey, it's Jim, give me a call, I got a question. What would you say if you normally called them and they didn't answer? Hey, it's Jim, give me a call. Or give me a call, I got a question. That's it. You're no different now. Sometimes we join the business and we get weird. Don't get weird, okay? Stay normal with the way you talk to people. What if it's someone I don't know as well? Maybe it's someone I met, a week ago or last night or 2 days ago, and we talked a little bit about business, and I have their number to call them. Then I might call him and say, hey Andrew, it was great meeting you the other day. We got talking about, and I've got his voicemail. My name's Jim Winkler. We met, and I would say where we met. And then I would say, we got talking business, and you said you had an interest in learning more about a business I'm expanding in the area. Here's my number, and I'm going to repeat it. I'll repeat it to him slowly twice, because if you do it once, it irritates people. So we'll do it slowly twice. Okay, and then I'll say, give me a call back when you're available. That's all I leave with that. Okay, had to do it a little different because I don't know him as well. I let him know I'm expanding the business, and I leave my number twice. That's how you leave messages. That's it. Don't go into long detail. What if I'm on the phone and they ask me a question? Does that ever happen? Well, okay, well, what's this new business you're doing? Okay, how many of you get a little tongue-tied? Okay, this is normal. Okay, it's normal. Okay, you can say many different things. Okay, one thing I'm a big believer in is I'm going to answer a question or two. I've heard trainers say I don't answer anything. To me, that's weird. I get back on the weird train. Okay? I mean, if you call somebody and you said, well, and they invited you to meet with them about something, you said, well, what is it? And they said, I can't tell you. I mean, I want you to hear it in reverse. It sounds weird, doesn't it? So I started a business, it has to do with the internet, or it has to do with shopping online, it has to do, what if your focus is cosmetics? Should you say I've started a business with one of the fastest growing cosmetic companies? Could you say something like that? So wherever your interest is, you can, I usually say something like internet marketing and product brokerage company, because I've said that forever. Okay, internet marketing product. Could you also say, have you ever heard of shop.com? I love using the shop.com name. Because then if people go there, they see the shop.com site. But what if they ask me like a second or third question? What I come back and say, you know what? It's a lot better, and I can explain it a lot better if we get together. Okay? So I've answered one or two to keep it a normal conversation. But I stop it and say, I can really explain a lot better if we get together and I show you this. It doesn't explain well just over the phone. Okay? So those are some of the keys on that. Those are some of the results, again, from different ones we've done. We start with people we know and we make some calls. So it is day 25. So what I want you to do is, we just practiced for 5 minutes. We have Wednesday night at 7:30 here, right?
Yes.
You have an amazing presenter in town for it. That will be me. So what I'd like you to do is break into small groups, and I want you to call 2 people. If you get 2 messages, leave normal messages. If you get a hold of somebody, ask them to come on Wednesday if you're available Wednesday. If they can't make it Wednesday, book a time to get together with them to show it. 2 phone calls, that's all you have to do. How many people can make 2 phone calls pretty quick? All right, break into a small group and just make 2 phone calls. We're going to book some appointments.